How's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. So here is the IcePlate EXO Gen 3 from Qore Performance. Now I'm going to do an initial first opinion, I guess you could say, on this carrier, just because so many people say, hey, I want to know your opinion on certain carriers. We are going to do a long-term deep dive into this carrier. I have just recently got this, and this is my initial opinion on it, mainly because I've used so many carriers over my career. Pretty much immediately picking them up, I can tell a good percentage of how they will perform, just because I have a lot of experience with them. So this is the same company that does the ice flask, as you see here, and the ice plates you might be familiar with. So they make a carrier as well. Really like their products. So we'll see if the carrier stands out. Now, initially, like I said, myself getting my hands on this for the first time, it is extremely lightweight, and that's pretty cool in my opinion. You can even see in the design of it of how much space and, like, in a way, you know, fabric that they've cut out of it to make it very lightweight. You can almost see through, the carrier in certain spots because all these squares, right? They kind of look at the engineering portion and say, hey, what don't we literally need for performance-wise? All this is going to do is trap heat, and that is one of the biggest things of this carrier that they have tried to implement is their ice plate system, which I will be getting here in the future, but it's mainly meant to, again, regulate your body temperature with plates, a plate carrier, and using ice, or regulate your temperature in colder environments with hot water into those plates or other receptacles that they sell, and having different holster systems and whatnot. So this carrier exploits and is specifically designed for, in essence, temperature management, along with carrying all the essential gear as a normal folk or normal individual would, whether that be law enforcement, military, kind of stuff like that. So extremely lightweight, right? There is Velcro all over this thing, except for one key place, which I will get to, that I'm kind of frustrated at. The whole internals here have Velcro. These are very cool too. These shipped with it, and I actually purchased these extra, the shoulder pads. These are upgraded shoulder pads. These are actually really nice. I was very surprised. As soon as I threw these on, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty nice. I'm surprised. Apparently, big moisture wicking, and they don't hold a lot of moisture in them. Probably go down a different road in the future about actually talking about the details of these, but initially, right, what I was talking about is not having Velcro in a key spot. And I think I know why they did this, but they do not have it back here on the Cummerbund. This is the actual Equinox Cummerbund, and it is meant to go internal. You can do it two ways. You can do it from the inside and from the outside, depending on where you want to pull the load around to. But what I've found is there is no way to add a different type of Cummerbund system on this right now. Up here, they have Velcro, which is awesome. Why don't they put it down here? Because that would allow the market to use other Cummerbunds. And granted, I kind of understand they do that on purpose because they want you to purchase their Cummerbund to work with their system. Marketing standpoint, that makes sense. But from an end user like myself, again, I would prefer to test the axle and then decide, hey, if I don't like this, I have other options to go to. Now, I'm not saying the axle was bad by any means. I don't really have a lot of time with it. Initially, I thought it was a little weird. Recently, I've been using it, like I said, and it's, you know, starting to enlighten me, I guess you could say, and I start to understand it, which I'll dive into here in a second in the Cummerbund itself. But that is a one in just my initial missed opinion is not putting Velcro down here for other external Cummerbunds on other markets. I get why they did it. I'm kind of on the fence about why they didn't. It is what it is. Plate bag wise, initially looking at this thing, it doesn't look like there's a lot of room for plate bag movement, as in not a lot going on, but I have put plates in here. I just took them out to put them in a different rig that I'm testing as well, and it's sufficient. It is. It's super lightweight. I do like how they kind of opened all this up. Up front, a lot of Velcro up here again. Shoulder pads, extremely minimal. I added these on, of course. Some folks like that, and that's fine. I tend to carry a lot more weight on me, so I prefer larger upgradable, which these are. You can upgrade them like I have now to add some extra padding. One last thing, going back to the cummerbund, the Axle Equinox. This is a double-sided cummerbund, so you can add pouches on the exterior and the interior over here. As you see, and some of you are probably have a keen eye that you've spotted these knockoff pouches. Yeah, I got tired of the comments of people telling me to test the cheap ones. So literally I just ran out and bought some of the ones from Amazon. I do have the real Blue Force Gear 10-speed pouches. I've been using them for years, and already these are not up to my standard, which that's a whole different review. But for some of you that looked at that and goes, "Oh, those are cheap knockoffs." Yes, they are. But the other stuff is legitimate on here. Flatline, Fiber Co., Spiritus, Spiritus stuff. Again, that's what I typically use on a lot of stuff. Aside from that, it does use tubes, which is spear tubes for the most part, which is pretty cool. It is an addition, depending on which one you get. These have these axle, spear tube adapters, I guess you could say. They used the long ones here, and then they used the little short stubby ones. Kind of on the fence about this. I'm not a big fan of the small 2-row Molly cummerbunds just because I add so much gear because I have to. It is usable for sure, but I prefer the 3 or the 4 Molly column, which is like the, in my opinion, the Agilite, what are their main cummerbunds? I forget what the Warfighter cummerbund is outstanding. So it's going to be hard to beat that. But again, not a bad cummerbund system as an internal and external, which is awesome in my opinion, because you can put pouches on the inside and the outside to maximize that space. I think that was a solid, great idea. The adjustment for the cummerbund, still on the fence with. I'm still working with it. Again, this is my initial review. As I use this, as I dive into it and use it every single day, armed up, using weapon systems, this is going to be a primary kit overseas with me, and we're going to be testing it pretty hard. So in the future, you will see more updates and the legitimate video on this. Granted, this is my initial opinion. Again, I still think this is going to be a fairly good carrier. I think I'm going to enjoy it. So right now, I have high hopes. So if this makes it to YouTube, I may not even post this, honestly. I'm just doing it now just because I think it's a beneficial initial review, I guess you could say, or unboxing, or, opinionated, I guess, of this. So I think it has some high hopes. So other than that, you'll see it in the future. Hope y'all have a great day.